The days are getting shorter, and you can feel it in the air. Yes, it's that time of year. Pumpkin is finally back at Dunkin'. It's the cozy you've been craving all summer long, now in your cup at Dunkin'. Pick up all of your pumpkin favorites, like the signature pumpkin spice iced latte, or a pumpkin iced coffee, and bakery items like pumpkin donuts and muffins. Sip into something comfortable to celebrate the start of cozy season. Use the Dunkin' app for contactless ordering. America runs on Dunkin'. The days are getting shorter, and you can feel it in the air. Yes, it's that time of year. Pumpkin is finally back at Dunkin'. It's the cozy you've been craving all summer long, now in your cup at Dunkin'. Pick up all of your pumpkin favorites, like the signature pumpkin spice iced latte, or a pumpkin iced coffee, and bakery items like pumpkin donuts and muffins. Sip into something comfortable to celebrate the start of cozy season. Use the Dunkin' app for contactless ordering. America runs on Dunkin'.
And I was celebrated for a long time. Now it's all mine. Do we all shine? Holy, 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 holy key. Holy, holy key. Holy.
Hit it from the back, watch a nigga bless you, bless you.
If your metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you.
Crying in my arms like a nigga wrecked you, wrecked you. Metro booming, want some more, nigga. Yeah, alright. You was right, I was wrong.
Your black guide and breakdown to Scientology.
Yeah, the Real Niggas Guide to Scientology. What up, everybody? It's Jaden XD here with a breaking special report. It's been come to our attention.
It's been come?
Yep, it's been come to our attention. It's gganetics.
Yes, you're right.
I don't have to abide by the rules of the white man's grammar.
Right.
Yeah.
Because...
Yeah.
That's suppressive.
Yeah, it's suppressive.
Yes.
The white man's grammar is a suppressive being.
It is, but I still use it.
Yeah, me too.
And when niggas don't, it bothers me.
Yeah.
Yeah, conversate.
Yeah. Or when niggas say screep.
Or when niggas say scrimp.
Yeah.
Ooh,
or supposedly.
Or salmon.
Yeah.
Ooh, I hate when people say salmon.
Yeah, there's no, like the L silent.
The L silent, like lasagna.
Yeah.
The G.
Yeah.
So.
It's our silent friend. Like a library.
Or when people spell there, and there wrong.
Yeah. Or two.
That's, yeah, no.
Your.
Yeah, the yours.
Yeah.
You know what? The yours bother me than the theirs.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because it's easy. You are.
Yeah.
Like, do it in your head before you write it out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But we are here with a special report. We talk about this often for the last 7 weeks.
Yeah, we've literally consistently talked about this. And for those of you all who haven't caught on, I'm sorry.
Yeah, listen, this is important.
It is.
Because we like our good white Sojourner Truth, Leah Remini.
Yes.
We are here to expose the craziness of white people.
We have our Sojourner Truth and then our
Frederick Douglass.
Our Frederick Douglass / Langston Hughes, because he's poetic when he speaks.
Yeah, it is. Mike
Rinda.
Yeah. So today is gganetics.
I know we've touched on what Scientology is.
Yeah.
But we're gonna really break it down for you all, and we've got segments.
Yeah, we have volumes. You don't have to go by the book.
No.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll receive a letter.
I'm sure.
From the Church of Scientology.
It's cool.
Why do they use it? Why do they call it a church when it has nothing to do with God?
Because it's a scam.
It is.
They don't want to pay money.
I know.
Exactly.
That's weird because I was like, Judaism, they call it,
Why
synagogue.
are we whispering? Because I don't even,
well, cause
it's a scam. IRS, do it again.
Yeah. Well, we
it's the only time I advocate for them.
Yeah.
Outside of that die, burn, crawl. But, I need your last mission to be Scientology.
Yes, do something good for once. But anyway, let's get the good stuff out the way. How was
good ever come from a nigga named Sam? Think about it.
I beg to differ, but I can't put my business out on the street like that.
Ew.
But
Ew. Can you imagine calling Sam? Like, ew, it doesn't even sound sexy. Sam. Sam. No, that's not what I sound like.
okay.
But still, like, who calls out Sam?
Listen, Sam. Anyway, I'm not telling my business, but
But you are.
no, I'm not. You're not auditing me. Stop auditing me.
Hold on to the swell bottles. Both of them.
This is not an audit session.
Okay, we'll get to that.
How was your week?
How was my week? It's long. It's
Yeah.
very long.
Yeah, VV long.
Yeah.
Yeah, samesies.
Okay, I'm gonna audit.
Okay.
I'm gonna confess.
Okay.
Because I've been doing real good with trying to be positive and, like, you know, if something is shitty, it's just shitty. But if I'm like, you know what, let me look for the good first, and I've been trying to focus on that or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And this white girl made me turn back, backslide, because I
Yeah.
was walking.
That's usually what they do.
And I'm a brisk walker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I walk. Mm-hmm. And I also am cognizant of where I walk, where I stand on escalators, like all of that. Mm-hmm. I'm very strict with that. So I walk to the right, I stay to the right, I briskly walk, I mind my business, I keep going. You know what I'm saying? Go around, swiftly go smooth. This white girl, clearly I wasn't walking fast enough for her. Nobody was, because she was going around everybody. But I didn't see this until she shoved me into one of those green construction walls where they're doing something on the sidewalk in front of a business.
Post no bills.
Because I had
Your headphones on.
my headphones on. But I'm walking, like, it's a line, people are moving, I'm moving. She, like, knocks me in because she's trying to do what cars do when they, like, try to slide in between two cars to go around the one that's going too slow.
Yeah.
So she was trying to slide past me and around this other white man and keep going. And it got too close on the sidewalk. I couldn't even, like, I couldn't grab her ponytail quick enough. So with it being quite icy outside, and you know how cold it was yesterday,
Yeah.
I picked up a piece of snow ice and I hurled it at her like the great Bambino. I don't think he was a pitcher, but right now it's fine. He was a baseball player.
Yeah.
I hurled it at her like, never again. Don't ever do that again. I wasn't going to go after her. I wasn't going to fight her. I didn't even use any words. I didn't cuss. I might have uttered a bitch, but I didn't even think about if a dog had pissed on this thing. I just found one that was solid enough.
That would have added an extra piquancy. That would have added fuel to the fire.
Yeah, but then I would have to touch it. I didn't even think about that, though. I just wanted this to hit her.
Yeah.
So I did that this week. I'm confessing that she shoved me into a wall.
So what happened?
I'm sorry. She turned around, and I was like...
What's that?
And she turned back around and kept briskly walking.
Oh, okay.
Like, I just stopped and held my hands out like, what you want to do? You want to come back? And she just kept walking.
Oh, okay.
I haven't had a story in a while because it's been pretty... I haven't had a lot of issues on public transportation, but this girl... Whew.
Yeah.
She took me there.
Yeah.
In a white neighborhood, no less. I could have totally been arrested.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You could have.
In this particular... You shoved me into a wall.
Yeah.
Trying to, like, slide through. Get yourself together. Nothing has happened in that quick. But
Okay.
anyway, how was your week?
It was good until I almost died. I guess this is a story I can share.
Please? You know?
I don't remember much of it, though.
You watched an entire... You binge-watched Moesha.
Close. So I was sick all last week, and I was like going through it, and so I went to the doctor, and because I had to get checked out, make sure all get a tune up, make sure my tires was rotated, all that good stuff. Everything is cool. The diagnostic came back clear. Hallelujah.
I told you.
Listen. You have to understand, even though
he was waiting on a job, like you got some real news. Nigga, I knew you was good.
That is real news. Listen, being gay, fucking niggas, because you don't gotta be gay to do that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Because, niggas, this is for gays and ladies. Sometimes niggas are nasty.
So, sometimes humans are nasty.
Yeah. But niggas are nasty. And by niggas, I mean, that's really non-gender specific.
No, you're right.
But in my particular line of work, niggas are nasty. So I had to make sure, that shit was copacetic. And it is, it's fine. Because, sometimes, even if you're not doing anything wrong, it's just that looming fear of like...
Yeah, I get it.
Ooh, girl, I don't, maybe...
Like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even when I was pregnant and I'm like with the same person for years, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't even think he doing nothing.
Exactly. But for like 2 seconds, I'm like, I bet that nigga did it. Yeah.
When did he cough?
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, I also was sick, so I had to get a strep throat test, and I was fine. And then I had this conversation about removing my tonsils, which, I didn't even tell you that story. That is, first of all, one day we need to have since speaking of scams and Scientology, insurance is a huge fucking scam.
Huge.
It is the Scientology of everything.
It really is. No, insurance and cable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And cell phone service.
Yes. Well.
Sprint is.
Well.
Yeah. Well, because Sprint only targets black people.
T-Mobile.
No, T-Mobile is like a millennial thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
It used to be a nigga thing.
Yeah.
They evolved?
Yeah. Like they always
do. They gentrified.
They did. Just like they always do.
That's true. They do got that white girl in their ads.
Yeah. But, anyway, I talked about, like, my anxiety, and he was like, oh, okay. Because I think I told you all a long time ago that I had to give up weed. Mm-hmm. So he was like, oh, okay, well, have you tried other things before? I was like, I used to belong to the Zanny family. It's lit, whatever. Mm-hmm. But he was like, okay. Got us okay panties, told us they were certified orders to the Zanny family. Whoa. But he was like, oh, well, I'll prescribe you something. I said, okay. So I'm thinking I'm about to go back to, promethazine, codeine, and champagne for us. But he gives me something else. And he was like, the first sign of the side effect, stop it and call me immediately. So I'm like, so all of a sudden I'm like, you about to set me up for the motherfucking okie doke. But anywho.
I know this story now.
The next day, or Friday morning, I take it. Everything is good, I take my vitamins, because I do Flintstones. I'm kidding.
That was like,
I'm
really?
kidding. No, I have one of them, like, Centrum for Men shit.
Okay.
Vitamins are expensive.
Yes, they are. We take the Rainbow Light.
Oh, yeah. I used to take those.
Mm-hmm.
And then I take the Lexapro. When I tell you, I'm like, I'm good, and then I get on the train and I break out into a cold sweat, like drenched. And I'm like swaying, like, oh girl, this is the end. Mind you, it was 20 degrees that day. I got off the train because I was like, I'm going to pass out on this train. So I was being a responsible fucking strap hanger and leaving the train because I was a sick passenger.
Take heed.
I'm outside of Essex train station with just a t-shirt talking about, this is great.
You were having a hot flash.
A personal summer. Yeah. And then I find myself some strength to get back on the train. And I finally make it to work. By this time, I feel...
This is in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh,
8:30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at this point, I can't feel my legs. So I'm like floating. Like, you remember in Willy Wonka? In the Chocolate Factory?
My favorite movie ever.
Like, that scene, that's what I felt like. That's exactly where I was. But I didn't need to be there at 8:45 that morning.
I'm generally there at 8:45.
No, this is different. But it was like there, but if like Metallica was playing. Like, it was just like a lot. Yeah, it was.
Sounds like an episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah, that's exactly what this was.
Whoa.
So I was like, oh,
damn,
God.
I missed that one.
Yeah, I was like, ooh.
The days are getting shorter, and you can feel it in the air. Yes, it's that time of year. Pumpkin is finally back at Dunkin'. It's the cozy you've been craving all summer long, now in your cup at Dunkin'. Pick up all of your pumpkin favorites, like the signature pumpkin spice iced latte, or a pumpkin iced coffee, and bakery items like pumpkin donuts and muffins. Sip into something comfortable to celebrate the start of cozy season. Use the Dunkin' app for contactless ordering. America runs on Dunkin'.
Right now, switch your family to T-Mobile and get 4 lines for $25 a line with AutoPay and 5G access included on America's largest 5G network. So don't wait. Get unlimited and nationwide 5G access for the whole family for just $25 a line. Visit a T-Mobile store or T-Mobile.com today.
Plus taxes and fees. Customers may notice lower speeds and further reduction if using over 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video at 480p. Unlimited while on our network. Qualifying credit and 4+ lines required. Capable device required for 5G. Coverage not available in some areas. Some uses may require certain features. See T-Mobile.com.
Ooh, God, please, let me make it to work. So I finally make it to my office, and I pass out in the bathroom. Wow. Yeah, I pass out in the bathroom. I finally get myself together, and I'm like sitting in my office, like, and I tell my coworker, I was just like, "Oh God, I don't feel good." And my manager calls me on my office phone. She was like, she asked me to do something. I was like, "So let me tell you something. I'm dying." And she laughed, and I was like, "No, like I'm dying. Like this is the end. R.I.P. me."
R.I.P.
And so I was like, I have to go.
R.I.P.
So this is where the story ends because I don't remember getting home. That's how fucked up I was. So I remember leaving work and then waking up in my bed at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I have no recollection of how I got home.
Sis, give me your hand. You took Kanye drugs. Okay.
Yeah.
As soon as he told you Lexapro, you should have said N-O.
Yeah,
You went to G-O out the D-O.
I know that he gave me K2, but like
that's legit Kanye drugs. He takes Lexapro.
Yeah,
should have known.
Yeah, I didn't know. I remember my old clients used to take it, but then they used to do crack, so it was like whatever.
Yes.
So I was that was way too much of events for this weekend. So I was in the bed for most of the weekend.
Yeah, that's real.
And then I went to Brooklyn Kalachi on Sunday.
I haven't been there in a while.
Yeah, it's because you abandoned me and left me and moved to Flatbush.
And because I abandoned you and left you, so now I'm eating sugarless apple raisin oatmeal that I'm having to put cinnamon in to give it some flavor in the morning.
Yeah.
And salad and soup.
Oh yeah, we're trying to get fit for
or
shit.
something.
Yeah, okay, we should really start the show because we're 17 minutes in.
I'm just trying not to be so bubbly.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Whatever. It's our show. We can do what we want.
Because we poppin'.
Yeah. Shop our sponsors. Listen to us anywhere and everywhere. I guess we could say this now. So eventually we are moving off of SoundCloud.
Yes.
In the next couple of weeks. Yeah. We're moving off of SoundCloud. We will still be on iTunes. And for those of you who use SoundCloud to listen to us, we will hopefully provide another way for you to listen to us with another app. Hopefully, you can use so many other apps. The Stitcher app. We'll work it out for you. Podbean as well. But but just to give you an FYI. But yeah, just know that we have to make some changes because Jaden XD is no longer on the XD Experience Network. So
you fired us?
Yeah. 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 We'll make a larger announcement about it. But yeah, Jaden and XD are no longer on the XD Experience Network. So we have to make some changes to accommodate the powers that be.
You can't fire us, we quit.
But anyway, we're glad you're hanging out with us today. It's a special episode. We're in a good mood, but we're about to tell you about some crazy white shit.
Gganetics.
Let's go. So I knew a lot of people don't really know what Scientology is. And frankly, most of the people who are in Scientology don't either.
Right.
But Scientology is essentially this new religion of the 21st century that's supposed to be the new way of life, using technology to free your mind and help the planet and all of mankind to be better people, to love one another, and some other kumbaya shit.
Right. But it's really more like, oh.
Yeah.
Because it's like a cult.
Yeah, it's like forward. So Jade and I are going to hear him break it down like, what
like only we can.
Yeah. So bust it, right? Back in the 50s, this white nigga named LaRon LaRon Hubbard.
His real name is Ron L. Hubbard.
Just L.
Ron Hubbard for those who want to research, but for all intents and purposes, we're going to call him LaRon.
Yeah, so LaRon Hubbard, God, he had horrible teeth.
They were so bad.
They had every color of brown,
oh
which is
God.
so weird because there's no black people in Scientology.
That's not true.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that later.
We will get to that.
Yeah. But he wrote this book. Well, first of all, L. Ron Hubbard used to be a science fiction writer.
That's what he started off as.
Like, he wrote, about Mars and Venus and, Xenu and, Jabba the Hutt and shit.
Right.
And he
rest in peace, Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, rest in peace. And Debbie Reynolds.
Yeah,
damn. But he thought, what if there was a new way of life to apply this shit as a religion?
Yep.
So he wrote this shit called Dianetics.
Yes.
Dianetics is a scientific study of, mankind and how we should operate.
And how we are essentially higher beings. How you hear Hotep niggas saying how they want to go with their higher self.
Yeah.
That is basically what his teachings are centered around. Being with your higher self, being the best you that you can be.
Yeah.
And to the point where you can will yourself well physically because your mental is so healthy.
Yeah.
So he uses an example in Going Clear.
The movie on
HBO.
Yeah.
Cop one of your niggas, logins, HBO Go or HBO Now.
Use your unlocked Fire Stick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to get one on Friday.
Me too, bitch. Oh my God. It's litty.
It's so lit.
Yeah.
So, make sure you use that to watch Going Clear. Anyway, he says in Going Clear, for instance, if you're in a car accident and, they show a car flipping over and you're hurt, you use that ability that you have to make yourself feel better from that car accident to where this car accident no longer will impact your life.
Yeah, so essentially Scientology is supposed to turn you into Wolverine.
Right.
Yeah. So it evolves and he develops this other thing called the Sea Organization.
SEA.
Yeah. Which is people who are devout members of this religion and they used to live on a boat. He used to be in the Navy.
And really it came from... So... Okay. This nigga's crazy. Mm-hmm. So we already touched on the fact that back in the UK, he used to write science fiction.
Yeah.
He used to write science fiction articles in magazines along with other science fiction writers, right? Mm-hmm. And pretty much his stories are what Scientology is based off of, like I said. So he met this woman, right? His wife. Mm-hmm. And he told her all this stuff. You know, he was, what did he say? He was shot. Mm-hmm. He said he was shot. Like, all this stuff, all this bad stuff happened to him when he was in the Navy.
Just like niggas do, lie.
Lied. He lied. When they showed his papers from being in the Navy, all it said was he was fully capable and able and willing to serve. Mm-hmm. Like, there was nothing wrong with him. Mm-hmm. Physically able.
Yeah.
So there was one small thing that happened to him.
Nothing.
Like somebody knocked him in the elbow or something.
Yeah, like he stubbed his toe, girl.
So there was that,
and
right?
he willed himself back to health from that.
So whatever, he's in the Navy at that point. I don't remember if he went AWOL or whatever. He was shooting at some Mexicans and was essentially banned from the UK. Mm-hmm. So he decides he's going to take residence on a boat. Now, bust down the Sea Organization.
Yeah, so he lives in international waters now. And,
because he's a criminal.
Yeah, and so he gets a whole bunch of people who are weak-minded and believe his crazy shit to live on a boat with him.
Yes.
And it keeps growing and growing and growing. Mm-hmm. And he convinces people that this is the way of life. This is how you will live forever.
Right.
It evolves into this religion of Scientology. Now, there's parishioners and there's the Sea Org members. Imagine the Sea Org like the deacon board of the church, of like a Christian church, right? So, like, eventually, you know, it keeps growing. It was really big in the 70s. A bunch of hippies. I think it's because of acid. Because you have to do acid in order to...
And then, of course, if somebody's coming to you talking about, I can teach you how to elevate yourself to a point. Of course, drugs. Yeah. And you're a hippie, you live free anyway. Of course that's going to appeal to you.
Absolutely. I probably would have got stuck in this shit, too. Well, no, not really.
I would have been a mix between a hippie and a Black Panther.
Yeah.
And probably more on the Black Panther side.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more relaxed in my dress.
Yeah. But anywho, it got to a point where, like, people joined just at young ages. Mm-hmm. Like 15, 12. Not just Scientology, but the Sea Organization. So the thing about the Sea Organization is that once you join the Sea Organization, which is a sect of Scientology, you sign a billion year, excuse me, let me say that again. You sign a 1 billion year contract.
1 billion years.
To dedicate your life
to Scientology.
Scientology and the Sea Org. Now, when you're in the Sea Org, you live amongst other Sea Org members. You don't live a civilian life.
It's really like being in the Navy.
Yeah. So it evolved, and they no longer live on a boat. They developed a headquarters because people kept giving them money. Mm-hmm. So they have a headquarters in Clearwater, Florida, and in Hemet, California.
Flag.
Yeah. So kept growing, and then on January 24th, 1986, a young man hosted a conference by the name of David Miscavige. And he told a bunch of parishioners that LaRon Hubbard discarded his body
Right. So there are levels. We'll get to that in another
Yeah.
segment. But basically, there's 8 levels.
Yeah.
Of OT 1 through 8.
Yeah.
And he had surpassed an OT 8 and like XD said, discarded his physical body to find other
levels of Scientology.
beyond
Anyway,
an OT 8.
Yeah, in reality, that nigga died of a stroke.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he was evil.
Yeah, he was.
But he's essentially like the Jesus of Scientology, and then David Miscavige is like the Pope.
Yeah, exactly. So from then, David Miscavige took over Scientology.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about David Miscavige later,
yes.
I believe. But that's basically the history of Scientology.
That's where it all stems from.
And
then, so that ultimate level, what people don't know is that they are trying to get to a nigga named Xenu.
Yeah, so here's what Scientology is really about. So, I know so let's talk about some of the terms, then we'll get to Xenu. So, like, there are some things that happen in Scientology that you should know. So, there's, like, a bridge to clarity. So, essentially, in Scientology, you have to work your way up towards these levels to get to the spiritual enlightenment. Mm-hmm. So, like, you take intro courses to Scientology. You have to buy all these books. Then you graduate and go up to another level.
Yep.
Then you go up to another level once you complete that course. Another level. Each course is supposed to teach you something. And once you graduate the course, you're supposed to be a little more enlightened than what you were before.
And all the while, you're paying money for these courses.
Undisclosed amounts of money, but just know it's a lot of money.
They say you can pay up to $25,000 in your life.
$250,000 in your lifetime.
$250,000 in your life to Scientology. So these courses cost a lot of money.
Right. And once you get past a certain level, then there's this element called going clear, where you are completely and fully in your spiritual self. And there's like different levels past going clear, like OT1, OT2. I don't know what the OTs mean. They don't either.
They mean,
But either way, once you realize you get to OT8, that's the highest level of Scientology you can master. Because it wasn't written because LaRon Hubbard died.
Operating Thetan.
Operating Thetan. Okay.
In Scientology, operating Thetan is a spiritual state above clear. It is defined as knowing and willing cause over life, thought, matter, energy, space, and time. Yeah,
that's crazy. So, also, if you're in Scientology, you and your family's not,
right?
You're not allowed to talk to them.
You're not allowed to communicate with them. You're not allowed to write them letters.
Yeah.
You have to disconnect.
Exactly. You disconnect from them. Because they are a suppressive being.
Meaning they are an evil person.
Exactly.
They don't want good for the earth.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want better for mankind.
Yeah.
So they're a suppressive human being.
Yeah. Which is like you, Meemaw, just no contact.
Nope.
No man.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Wait. So somebody tweeted us, and I missed it, and then I caught it later on about that last episode of Leah Remini's show.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, I wonder if Jade caught what they said about the dog. And I hollered because...
Wait, what happened with the dog?
So they said in that episode, so remember, he had disconnected, or he left Scientology or whatever, so he was disconnected, and the neighbor was a Scientologist. And so she went to the wife, who still was a Scientologist at the time. It was like, how are we going to handle this with your children, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, like, they can't come over, stuff like that. But the dog would go over to the neighbor's house, and the neighbor even put a doggy door in her house because the dog would go over there so much. So she's like trying to talk about like how she's going to handle the disconnection with the family, with the kids and all of that. She's like, but I don't want to disconnect from your dog.
That's because white people value animals' lives more.
She was like, I don't want to disconnect from the dog because, you know, the dog like doesn't know, it's sure, it doesn't know what's going on. So I'm very attached to it. So I don't want to disconnect from your dog. So like I'm not going to talk to you, but I just want you to know your dog can still come to my house. Oh my God, that was so funny. Like white people going white.
Yeah. But anywho, it gets to a point where people don't necessarily know what Scientology gets to, what it is, until they get to the space of going clear.
And that's generally because niggas don't have money like that.
Yeah. So then, you end up learning about this man named Xenu.
Yep.
So...
But they don't know about Xenu.
Nobody knows about Xenu until you get past clear.
Right.
And you learn about this being named Xenu, which is an overlord of everybody and protector of body thetans. Oh, thetans are little personal aliens that go in and out of your body.
Right, which is why when you die, they don't say die.
Yeah.
They say you discarded.
Yeah. But thetans are like little atoms they're aliens that go in and out of your body.
Aliens.
Yeah, aliens. Again, aliens.
Aliens.
Yeah.
In your body.
Yeah. In and out of your body.
That control everything that's happened. This conversation right now is being had. This podcast is hosted by 2 aliens.
Yeah. Because the thetans that are going in and out of our body.
Right.
Yeah. So... God.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, every time I talk about this, it sounds crazier and
does.
crazier. Like trying to make sense of it. Because I was like, we should do a whole show about Scientology. And as I'm talking, I'm like, yo, this is whacked. God damn, this is crazy as shit.
It is.
Shit. So anyway, Xenu is what they believe in. Xenu is his overlord, and in an alternate universe, in another planet, there's a world that's just like this. There's people on there that look just like you and me. Mm-hmm. And they represent who we are, and Xenu looks over them.
Yes.
Which means that he looks over us, or people who believe in Scientology. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Xenu is also a fictional character from one of his earlier stories.
Yeah.
That he wrote as a child.
Right. So, Xenu.
Yeah. So essentially Scientology is based off of Archie comics.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, there's totally a whole bunch of other terms and shit, but I think that's just...
That's the basis.
That we can make sense of.
Question mark?
Yeah. Oof, God. We just had to, let y'all know this shit is whacked. Oh, and then there's auditing.
Yes.
Auditing is so important.
So we've spoken about it before, but again, so basically, you hold 2 cans of beer.
Yeah. King size.
King size beer.
Yeah, Cobras.
That are hooked up to...
a pacemaker.
Exactly. And it has a dial on it. Mm-hmm. And you hold on. And so the person on the other side, who is part of the C organization, is also a trained auditor.
Yeah.
So they have been trained. They have also paid money for these classes. They have been trained to basically listen to you confess and talk about yourself so that you can get to your higher self. Mm-hmm. And they're trained to ask you whatever questions or whatever, right? So you'll hold on to these cans or whatever, and this meter starts going. And then they'll say something to you like, well, have you had any suppressive thoughts? Mm-hmm. And you're like, no. They're like, are you sure? You haven't had any questionable thought. Like, they're interrogating you.
It's an interrogation, and people do it for years, and they record everything that you say.
Everything. And I guess if you say enough like, no, I haven't had any, then they'll just move on or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's when you now are like getting to this level where you are.
Yeah, clear. And so eventually they record everything, and it's a whole library on you.
Right.
Because, mind you, you audit every day.
Which is why John Travolta is still a Scientologist.
Yeah. Because they have dirt on you.
Right.
And if you ever decide to leave Scientology, they will use anything and everything they can against you.
I let him play with my booty hole. That's John Travolta confessing.
I killed Whitney Houston. Brandy.
Oh my God.
I killed Whitney Houston too, Stacey Francis.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I killed all my cast. It was me.
Scream, that was me.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is terrible.
Yeah. Whatever, she did though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they'll use it as a smear campaign against you.
Right. Essentially. So if you ever try to leave,
Yep.
they're going to take all the stuff that you said while you were auditing.
Yeah.
And
Blackmail you AF.
to oblivion.
Yep. Can we talk about black people now?
Yes.
Okay.
Who's the black private dick that's a sex machine to all the chicks? You're damn right. Who is the man that would risk his neck for his brother, man? Can you dig it?
Fun stuff.
Yeah. So, I didn't know there was black people in Scientology. I just thought this was some white shit.
Do you know who the craziest one to me was? Because I didn't expect it whatsoever. Dougie Fresh.
Yeah.
Dougie Fresh is a Scientologist.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Black people know better than that. Like, we know better than to believe in somebody named Xenu.
Right. But they don't know, nigga.
Look at David We'll get to him. You said we were going to get to him. Mm-hmm. All right. Whatever. Dougie Fresh is a Scientologist. Chef.
So, Isaac Hayes. I mean, that doesn't surprise me only because of the fact that he was in the white women, he was in the white girls and that white girl. If you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know.
So they had an episode that made fun of Scientology on South Park. Love South Park.
Yeah, it's great. Have us on the show.
That'd be great. A gganetics song. Like, can you imagine?
Exactly.
So
They'd probably have me like have sex with Butters or something.
oh my God. I don't even want to think about what they were.
I
I don't even want to even think about it. So
you and Cartman.
you know, I love Kirby.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah.
Yo, those are my cheesy puffs. Yo, those are my cheesy puffs.
You'd be his first black girlfriend.
I would.
Yeah.
Hi. You'd be like, what's your name?
Yeah.
G. And there you go. Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, Isaac Hayes is a Scientologist.
Yeah. But do you recall
the most batshit crazy bitch of all?
Man.
Brandy the grim-nosed reindeer.
Yeah. I was trying to think of something to do with her eyes, but I couldn't think of it.
They're enemies.
Yeah, they're disconnected.
They're suppressed
from
each other.
They're disconnected.
One's in the Sea Org, one's not.
Yep. But so apparently Brandy was once, dabbled in Scientology. Mm-hmm. So it was reported to me via Twitter
Source.
that, she took a couple classes and she said it wasn't for her. Now, the way Scientology has been explained to the rest of the world, that it's not something you dabble in. It's not like, like how, you're into girls in college and then you just marry a man afterwards. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not like that. Like, once you start, you don't really,
Well,
unless if you escape.
No, because
or you quit.
I want to say, if I remember correctly, Fran said on an episode of The Friend Zone that her mother was invited to a Scientologist church. And then she told her, get out of it, get away from those people. They're crazy.
But I feel like that's like a one-time thing, though. But from she went to that event,
she front row and center.
And every episode of Leah Remini's Scientology Aftermath, they show that clip.
They sure do. I'm about to watch it.
Yep, and Brandy is right there, right next. And then somebody was like, she was just a guest of an event.
She was clapping and singing, and she knew all the words.
Right next to Leah Remini's husband.
Right, and we all know Leah Remini was deep in it at the time.
Yeah, hella. So, I'm not sure if Brandy is still a member now.
I don't think so. She's too vocal, so I feel like she would have already said something about it.
Yeah.
Like, she would have already, advocated for it if she really was a part.
Yeah. Which is weird because, their daddy is like a minister. Well, that don't mean anything.
Brandy, remember when she lied about being married?
Yeah, but that's also because, her mother's a jackal.
Ooh, that woman is a hyena.
Yeah.
She is.
I don't
think she... But I remember when they were saying Will and Jada dabbled in Scientology.
Girl.
I remember that being a rumor.
Gina Waters and her husband?
Yes.
The days are getting shorter, and you can feel it in the air. Yes, it's that time of year. Pumpkin is finally back at Dunkin'. It's the cozy you've been craving all summer long, now in your cup at Dunkin'. Pick up all of your pumpkin favorites, like the signature pumpkin spice iced latte, or a pumpkin iced coffee, and bakery items like pumpkin donuts and muffins. Sip into something comfortable to celebrate the start of cozy season. Use the Dunkin' app for contactless ordering. America runs on Dunkin'. The days are getting shorter, and you can feel it in the air. Yes, it's that time of year. Pumpkin is finally back at Dunkin'. It's the cozy you've been craving all summer long, now in your cup at Dunkin'. Pick up all of your pumpkin favorites, like the signature pumpkin spice iced latte, or a pumpkin iced coffee, and bakery items like pumpkin donuts and muffins. Sip into something comfortable to celebrate the start of cozy season. Use the Dunkin' app for contactless ordering. America runs on Dunkin'.
Dabbled in it.
No, not even dabble. They was in it, and they had to disconnect.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because remember, girl, I told you, Leah tweeted it.
I remember.
Girl, let me
Tisha Campbell tweeting something like, she fully supports Leah Remini, so that led me, obviously you're not a part anymore because you're vocal about this, but I didn't know they were in it. That's why I'm in it. Well, while you look that up, there's a couple celebrities. There's a lot of celebrities who are Scientologists, but notably Kirstie Alley, Laura Prepon, Alex.
Hot Donna is a Scientologist.
She sure is.
Shut the fuck up.
And she's all in it.
Really?
There's quotes of her on the internet, saying positive things about Scientology and how it's elevated her life and taught her to be a better person and taught her to be this enlightened person. Beck is a Scientologist.
Sol Emperador, I'm a Loser Baby?
Mm-hmm. I told you Kirstie Alley's a Scientologist. We all know John Travolta. We all know Tom Cruise is deep in it. Like David Miscavige is all the way up his anal cavity.
Is in more ways than one because they...
Jasmine green tea.
Yeah. No, see, look. She said, Tisha was like, I ran into my friend Leah Remini at the nail salon. I love this woman so effing much. And Leah retweeted and said, and let it be known, you are the only friend who was told to disconnect from me from Scientology who said no. You are as loyal as they come. And then someone was like, I didn't know Tisha was in it too, but I'll assume she's out now. And then Leah gonna respond, she's out now. That explains why they went broke.
Paying for all those courses.
Yeah.
And then trying to live a life too.
Yeah.
That's probably why they had all those tabloids on in the supermarket where it would talk about Will Smith and Dwayne Martin were lovers and this and that because they were trying to smear them. Oh, it is all coming together. Oh my God, I'm so enlightened. So yeah, it makes sense. Scientologists are behind that.
Yeah.
They're the ones who sold those stories.
Yeah.
And told the tabloids that Dwayne Martin and Will Smith, because Will Smith and Jada, I don't know if they were in it or if they were dabbling. I'm not sure which one, but I heard that they were in it.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, that explains it.
That explains
Because that was so random for those stories to come out. Like, those were very random stories.
Although I believed it.
Well, you know they have all those rumors that Will and Jada like to, all these young niggas like to swing.
Yeah.
All these young niggas like to
swing. Yeah. Yeah. But I still believe it.
I mean, it's not far-fetched.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that makes... Wow. And I literally, as I was thinking that I was saying this, so y'all heard it with me.
Yeah.
It makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, there's that. Look at that.
Damn.
Mike Rendo was right.
Yeah.
They really do. They go after you.
They do.
So, because they're famous, they went after them by putting something like that into the tabloids.
Damn. The other lady that killed Whitney Houston, Stacey Francis, is in Scientology.
Oh, you know.
She's saying happy birthday to Tom Cruise at one of his birthday parties on a boat.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds like, of course it was on a boat.
Yeah. But, like, it's crazy how, like, they are so, like, they orchestrate his whole life.
They sure do, because I saw this year where they said he didn't spend Christmas with his daughter, with Suri, because he spent it with the Scientologists.
That makes sense. I wonder if his kids are in Scientology, because I don't think they talk to Nicole. Someone told me to watch this interview with her at the Golden Globes the other day, and they were just like, "Oh, I don't think she's allowed. She's disconnected from them."
Oh wow!
Yeah,
like they think she still talks to them.
That she's disconnected from them.
Oh, that she is disconnected from them.
Yeah, like they disconnected from her.
Wow.
Yeah.
I forgot they got kids together.
Yeah.
I always forget.
Two of them.
That's probably why, because they're probably in the Sea Org. They probably don't go to school.
You know what's also back to the Sea Org? You know you drop all formal education. I just had this realization the other day. Like David Miscavige dropped out of school to become a member of the Sea Org. So this person doesn't have a high school diploma.
Or a GED.
And he's running $1 billion scam.
Right. And treating it like a cult.
Like most of these people who escaped or whatever, they did not have any formal education unless they got it beforehand.
It's like this nigga learned about slavery and said, "Stop, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't need nothing else."
Yeah.
And then he ran off, the little leprechaun that he is, and took over Scientology because Ron L. LeRon was too old to do anything and too sick. And nobody wanted to say that he was sick because you're not supposed to be sick in Scientology.
Yeah. I know. Since we're here, David Miscavige, everybody.
David Miscavige.
All of which, to one degree or another, depends upon you. So here's my closing message for the new year at hand. Scientology has now come of age, and our footprint is massive. Moreover, our presence will soon grow even greater with still more ideal orgs and ideal advanced orgs to arise in the next 12 months. But let's not forget, what powers Scientology is the one-on-one contact wherein a Scientologist touches that secret chamber in every human heart where freedom beckons.
Take it away, Jade.
So like you said, David Miscavige joined Scientology in 1986.
No, he joined before that. He
Wait,
took
no,
over.
1986 is when he took over.
Yeah.
But he is evil. He's like a very evil person. He is the leader of Scientology now, the current leader of Scientology. I don't know, what is his position called?
I feel like he's the CEO of Religious Technology Center or whatever.
Okay. He has disconnected from his father because his father is no longer a Scientologist. He has been known to beat people for no reason. If he don't like how they look to him, he'll just knock them across the head.
Yep. Black eyes.
Like Mike Renda has said that David Miscavige knocked him up. And then also, they lie. So these people lie as well. That's not one thing we didn't say.
Yeah, Scientology is based on lying.
Like, they lie.
And snitching.
And they will believe that them telling these lies on behalf of Scientology, like, that they're doing the right thing. They don't consider it lying. Like, they are supposed to be doing this.
Right. So David Miscavige will host these huge events. And you require 5 a year you're supposed to go to, I believe.
And remember, we said on Leah Remini's show that one of the guys who's no longer a Scientologist that they interviewed was one of the main producers for these shows. So he was key in fabricating these statistics and just these wonderful things about Scientology, because essentially everything was like graphics and lies.
And no one's ever going to fact check the church because no one ever fact checks their church.
Never.
So, like, yeah.
So David Miscavige is the CEO, like XD said, of the Religious Technology. He is disconnected from his father, like we said, and he's just all around is an awful person. I mean, he's very paranoid. He's the main reason that Scientology has, because remember, it was supposed to be this, loving and humankind religion. And essentially, he has created prisons within the religion. So there are prisons in Hemet, California, where members of the Sea Organization who essentially have sinned or whatever are doing things like taking out the garbage. They're treated like prisoners. They're in prison camps, essentially.
Yeah. Concentration camps.
Yep. And if you try to leave Scientology, like if you try to break, they call it breaking out. Like, you have to sneak off the premises. And there are cameras everywhere.
Because they're so fucking paranoid.
Mike Render said that they put a camera in a birdhouse outside his house to watch him. And they hired garbage men to take his trash so they can go through his garbage. Like, they are crazy. They're crazy. They send people after you. They send people to your house. They picket outside of places that you are if you speak out against Scientology.
Yeah.
They are really brainwashed. So I don't really have much more to say about David Miscavige.
Me either. You hitting hell on the head.
So despite these documentaries and books and the like, people still join?
I don't think people still join, Larry. I don't.
No?
But what I'm not going to stand for is an organization with this kind of money to continue to do things like that and to bully people and to harass people, to defraud people out of their lives, their money, but more importantly, their families. And I'm just not going to sit around and watch it happen.
So, however, there are some some people that are working to help expose all the wrongdoings of this cult. Mm-hmm. And we talk about it every week. And we implore you to watch it because, it's interesting what the human condition can do. I always talk about this book called Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. Mm-hmm. And it's like the shortest book you will ever read. It's 94 pages. And it's so deep. And the theme is really about the savagery of the human spirit. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what this Scientology embodies. Like, how can you amass all this money and then you tell people you can't talk to your families anymore? Like, right. You can't have any contact with the outside world. You belong to me. It's voluntary slavery.
It is.
And
because you choose it.
Although people don't necessarily know what they're choosing.
Right.
At the time. But there are people out there who can do the right, who are righting the wrongs of this. And the show is a start. And there's also blogs out there. But, I mean, on A&E, Tuesdays, 10 p.m., we're not getting paid to promote them. Mm-mm. It's just really fascinating and entertaining.
It is. I would implore you to watch Going Clear first. So
yes,
that you could,
to have a rooted understanding
of everything that we've spoken about.
Yeah.
And we tried to put it in as layman terms as we could.
Yeah.
For you all to understand, but to go watch it yourself is to be able to experience
It's the scariest movie you will ever see in your entire life.
Legit.
Like, frightening.
Legit. And then after that, go watch Leah Remini's show. Go binge watch it.
Had your girl shook.
Like.
But yeah, watch Leah Remini's show. There's going to be, I think it's 12 episodes in total. It says 8, but there's like a special and then another special after it. So like 10. So like 10 episodes, right? Yeah. But watch the show. It's eye-opening. It makes you want to know, like, how can I get involved? Like, or like, what can I do? Can I write Congress or something? Like, nigga, y'all see this? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's just crazy.
Like, people are disconnected from their families. And I always connect this to, like, other people. Like, people are probably broken and doing harm to others because they can't talk to their families anymore.
We spoke about those twins where the one brother had to disconnect from the other and he ended up dying.
Yeah. And, like, imagine him guilt and shit like that. Imagine all the other people he's hurt because he's still hurting.
Right.
You know what I mean? People... And then, like, economically, like, throwing all their money into this thing that doesn't help or do anything.
On top of that, for them to be teaching that this is so loving and this is supposed to make mankind better, they actually work against that because they teach you that because you have these aliens living inside of you that essentially you're not really related to anybody.
Yeah.
So your family, they place no importance on family whatsoever.
And honestly, Scientology is a public health issue because they don't allow you to go to the doctor, really.
No, they don't.
They endanger children. They also force you to have abortions. They say they don't.
If you're in the Sea Org.
But they, that's part of not the doctrine anymore. But apparently they look at you side-eye like you having a baby. But also, if you like snap, because the number one enemy outside the IRS is psychiatrists. They will do anything and everything for you to not be in a mental institution because they're going to be like, oh, you're a Scientology. None of this shit is real. And this guy broke away on this special in 2020 last week. The people that saved him were, he had to check himself into a mental ward. And that's how he was deprogrammed.
Wow.
And...
deprogrammed.
Yeah, that's what he said. They're also like anti-gay. It's a lot heavy, and I can't tell people what to believe and what not to believe. But I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say, just don't do your research before you think about joining something, especially something like this. That's all I can say about it. But Leah Remini and Mike Render are doing really fantastic job about it. People are like, oh, like the Church of Scientology responded like, oh, they're getting paid to do this. And she responded like, hell yeah, I'm getting paid.
Right. Why shouldn't I be getting paid? I'm doing work.
Preachers get paid all the time.
I'm showing people what y'all are really doing.
Exactly.
You don't like it. So yeah, I'm getting paid. You getting paid, so am I.
Yeah.
What's up?
Exactly.
So let's get fun.
Yeah.
And now that you all have an understanding of Scientology, a lot of these songs may make sense to you.
So we have a Church of Scientology playlist because they don't have hymns.
Nope.
So we figured we'd help them out a little bit.
Yeah, so we created our own.
Yep.
So I put together a playlist.
I have no idea what's on this playlist except for one song.
I would not tell him what was on the playlist. And a lot of these apply to sometimes they apply to the terms, but we'll go through them. And you know we love a playlist.
Yeah.
So the first song was XD's choice, so I'm going to let him introduce it.
Yes! I love this song. It's Dakota Moon, Looking for a Place to Land.
Never heard this song.
It was from a promo from like season 6 of Friends. And the reason why I chose it was because this black people singing like real like alternative white shit, and I was like, this is real Scientology like.
Well,
looking for a place to land, looking for a friend to call, looking for a destination, conversation, fascination to protect you from the fall. Looking for one to love. Looking for a brand new day. Looking for a reason to stand. I'm looking for a place to land. Nah, nah, nah. Nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. Whoa, whoa.
So the next song on our playlist is by R.E.M. It's called Losing My Religion.
That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight. Losing my religion. Trying to keep up you.
That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion. The next song on the playlist, the lyrics don't really apply to anything. I don't think they apply to anything.
All right.
And they don't really apply to Scientology, but the whole feel of it is very like Scientological or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Because I said it to you earlier. This is the only one I said to you. This is by Owl City. It's called Fireflies.
You would not believe your eyes if 10 million fireflies lit up the world as I fell asleep. 'Cause they fill the open air and leave teardrops everywhere. You'd think me rude, but I would just stand and stare.
Yeah.
I'd like to make myself believe that planet Earth goes slowly.
You have to be super like stoned to understand.
That's the only reason I know that song.
Yeah.
Things that I can see. The next song is by our good white homeboys, Creed. It's called Higher.
Can you take me higher to a place where the light
Can you take me higher? To a place where blind men see. Can you take me higher? To a place where blind men see. Let's go there.
Oh, let's go there. Oh, there.
I wanna go there again.
And he's like on a cliff.
Yeah.
It looks completely like one of the videos in the Scientology. Like
At the promo video. Yeah.
It looked just like that.
You know, low-key, that was the gym. With arms wide open. Under the sunlight. Welcome to this place. I'll show you everything. With arms wide open.
The next song on our playlist really more so applies to how the church handles the members. And basically it's Rihanna's Bitch Better Have My Money.
Blah, blah, blah. Louis 13 and it's all on me, nigga, you just bought a shot. Kamikaze if you think that you gon' knock me off the top.
Pay me what you owe me.
Y'all should know me well enough. Please don't call me on my bluff. I will put out tabloids that you're gay.
Yep.
The next song is really more so dedicated to David Miscavige because like we mentioned earlier, he's very paranoid.
Insane in the membrane?
Yes. And he if you even look wrong, he don't trust you.
Yeah.
So it's Solange's Weary. She even speaks about like operating thetans, because she says,
look for my body, yeah. I'll be back real soon. I'ma look for my body, yeah. I'll be back real soon. I'ma look for my body, yeah. I'll be back real soon.
See? Not saying that Solange is a Scientologist because she's too smart for that and too saved.
Yeah.
And too black.
Yep.
But you see where it gets in, where it can fit in.
Yeah.
The next song more so applies to how Scientology appeals to people. Like we said, they approach it with, this is positive. This is for the earth. Like, you can heal yourself if you just think positively and if you just tell all of your secrets.
Yeah.
And basically what Scientology is telling you is you are very special. You're special too. Everyone is special. This I know is true when I look at you. It's Drum sings Special on Chance's album.
You are very special. You're special too. Everyone is special. This I know is true.
The next song is another one where the lyrics don't really apply, but the song just does. It's Hiatus Coyote, Atari.
I love that song.
I love that album.
Yeah, me too.
The album is so good.
It's so good. None of the songs make sense. None of the lyrics make sense.
Exactly.
Because, like, my favorite song in there is Molasses.
My favorite song is Prince Minikid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love Molasses and Jekyll.
Yeah, I love Jekyll. End. I love Jekyll.
Yes.
The fact that we're even discussing this and these lyrics don't make sense.
Yeah.
Noah loves Hiatus Coyote.
Yeah.
She dances to them. By the fire, she was getting it in the shower. Yeah. The next song is by a nigga who might as well join Scientology because he's crazy as cat shit. No, B.O.B. The song's called Flatline.
Free thinking, got the world at my neck, huh? Am I paranoid? Picture Malcolm X in a room full of pigs trying not to bust a sweat, ayy.
And it's a dedication to him believing that the earth is flat and all of us are stupid for not believing that the earth is flat.
Low-key had to think about who that was. Is he still with us?
Barely. The next song is dedicated to those who are disconnected.
Damn.
It's actually one of my favorites. It's by Chicago, and it's called Wishing You Were Here.
Sleepless hours and dreamless nights and faraways. Ooh, wishing you were here.
It's so pretty and so sad.
Yo, you were like a cast member from Cheers. Like,
sometimes you wanna go
where everybody knows your name.
Dun, dun, dun.
And they're always glad you came.
You wanna be with people
on the same.
You wanna go where everybody knows your name. Tossed salad and scrambled eggs.
That's me.
Yes, that is you.
They're coming again. Thank you, Seattle. Good night.
And then the next song is by a Scientologist, who we mentioned earlier, Beck. And the title is It's All in Your Mind.
Well, it's all in your mind. It's all in your mind. It's all in your mind. It's all in your mind.
You know, I, in my angsty years in the 90s, I liked Beck.
You seem like you like Beck and Fiona.
I like a girl with a short skirt and a long jacket.
Oh, same thing. Coat, jacket, whatever. The next song is for those who are trying to get out. It's by the Beatles, called Help.
Help, I need somebody. Help, not just anybody. Help, you don't need someone.
Help. The next song, we have to throw something on there for my niggas. It's by the Tony Yayo, the worst rapper in G Unit, and it's called Tattleteller.
I ain't your friend, you a tattleteller. You rat, you snitch, you jealous nigga. You coward nigga, you tell the nigga. Tuck your tail, fuck your whiskers, you tattleteller.
That is on the list because they want you to snitch in Scientology. Like that lady talked about snitching on her husband. The couple was like, yeah, we used to snitch on each other when they had suppressive thoughts. Yeah. They'd go tell. Tattleteller. Tony Yayo.
Well, I guess now it's time for Fucked Up Song of the Week.
So the final song on the playlist is by Radiohead, which is personally one of my favorite bands. And the song is called Karma Police. Karma Police, arrest this man. He talks in maths. He buzzes like a fridge. He's like a detuned radio. Karma Police, arrest this girl. Her Hitler hairdo is making me feel ill, and we've crashed her party. This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get when you mess with us. Karma police. I've given all I can. It's not enough. I've given all I can, but we're still on the payroll.
Oh my God.
This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get when you mess with us. For a minute there, I lost myself. I lost myself. Phew. For a minute there, I lost myself. I lost myself. For a minute there, I lost myself. And it continues on. If those lyrics are not Scientology, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
So that's our Scientology playlist.
Yeah. Scientology. So yeah, that was gganetics.
Yes. I hope that you weren't bored to death.
Yeah.
And I hope that you were able to get somewhat of a knowledge of what Scientology is.
Yeah. Scientology is crazy as shit.
Yeah.
And we want to help y'all out.
Don't join Scientology.
At all.
Watch Leah Remini. You too can become a Reminista.
Yeah. Being Reminista is lit.
She really is.
Like, she has amazing nails.
Every episode, like, she's got the stiletto nails. Sometimes they're nude, sometimes they're red.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
with stilettos.
With stilettos.
Yeah.
You know, she just talks. She doesn't really have too much of a filter.
No, at all. She's kind of like us.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Leah, we love you.
We love you.
Guys, put us on.
Yeah.
Somebody put us on.
And we love you, Leah. Also, you too, Mike Renda. Mike Renda! Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that's it. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, hopefully if the Church of Scientology doesn't shut us down.
Bye.
Bye.
Right now, switch your family to T-Mobile and get 4 lines for $25 a line with AutoPay and 5G access included on America's largest 5G network. So don't wait. Get unlimited and nationwide 5G access for the whole family for just $25 a line. Visit a T-Mobile store or T-Mobile.com today.
Plus taxes and fees. Customers may notice lower speeds and further reduction if using over 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video at 480p. Unlimited while on our network. Qualifying credit and 4+ lines required. Capable device required for 5G. Coverage not available in some areas. Some uses may require certain features. See T-Mobile.com.
Okay, so work's done and you're craving something spicy and salty. I know. What I do is snack on Blue Diamond wasabi and soy sauce flavored almonds. They're so good, and almonds are a superfood. Don't deny your cravings. Eat them. Blue Diamond almonds. Crave victoriously.